Developer Treyarch has proven that it's listening closely to the fan feedback by changing, removing, and adding elements of the game as it sees fit. Since the developer obviously doesn't want to alienate or upset the game's dedicated player base, these changes have been relatively minor in nature. With the exception of the recently released Awakening DLC pack, of course. Yet, in most cases, they have still managed to make a big impact. Though we have 5 additional changes Treyarch could make. While not very big, they could drastically improve the average player's experience. Disable opening cinematics and retry button for solo zombie matches. We understand that the opening cinematics, which boot up whenever you begin a solo zombies match, are there to distract us while the game loads the map's assets. But having to watch the same cinematic play out for the 20th time while we wait for that little skip prompt to come up isn't captivating or immersive. It's just plain annoying. We'd much rather have the option to switch between cinematics or the stock loading bar screen, which is shown when multiplayer zombie matches are starting up. Also, and we're sure we're not the only ones when we say having the game automatically take us all the way back to the main zombie menu whenever a zombies match ends is annoying at best, infuriating at worst. The Black Ops 3 Zombies community would jump with joy if Treyarch ever added the ability to quickly retry a zombies map after it ended. Both of these changes would make zombies a more accessible experience overall, something which I imagine neither dedicated players nor casual fans would object to. Progression system for nightmares, and maybe dead ops. It seems like a strange oversight on Treyarch's part to let players prestige their weapons in competitive multiplayer, but not in zombies. Having a weapon at max level is obviously a more desirable option thanks to the additional attachments and optics the weapon has access to, but it would still be nice to at least have the option of resetting our weapon levels in zombies, if only to regain access to the XP bonuses we earn for leveling up a weapon each time. If Treyarch was feeling generous, maybe it could add in some special zombies inclusive weapon camos which could only be earned by prestiging weapons in zombies, making the sting of having to re-level that weapon hurt just a little less. Ability to disable specialist and announcer dialogue in multiplayer. Having Black Ops 3 multiplayer specialists talk to each other periodically during a typical multiplayer match is a nice touch, and the verbal updates given by the announcer are handy during a close match. But there are certainly times when we wish we could silence both the specialists and the announcers permanently. The verbal berating the announcer gives when your team loses may feel immersive to some, but when you lose a multiplayer match, the last thing you want is to be verbally chastised by some disembodied voice who did little else during the match other than remind you of the fact that you were losing. Same goes for specialist gestures and dialogue granted to the top 3 players on the winning team. It sounds like a trivial thing, but when your team winds up getting crushed and then you have to hear the top enemy specialist say something along the lines of, "Wow, you guys really suck," while the second place specialist does a laugh and point emote, it doesn't really make you want to continue playing. We're not saying Treyarch should disable these features entirely, but there should be a way for individual players to toggle the announcer so that the only times they speak are to announce incoming score streaks, and to make it so that they don't see the end of match specialist animations when their team loses. Craftable camos and calling cards. We understand that Treyarch answers to Activision, and Activision is a business, which means that the odds of us players one day being able to pick and choose which cosmetic items we receive in Black Ops 3 are slim to none. But it'd be nice if Activision was willing to work out some sort of in-between compromise. Allowing players to pick a specific black market weapon camo or calling card and then craft it by spending other items wouldn't be intrusive enough that players would suddenly stop buying COD points. Yet it would show that Activision does care about giving players what they want. Considering all the negative reactions which crop up when Treyarch added actual weapons to the black market, we're thinking both companies could likely use a little boost to their positive reception. What do you think of this list? Let us know in the comments below. And for all your Black Ops 3 needs, be sure to head over to Ops3.com.